Why does Dragon Ball Daima feel disappointing? In today's video, I'll be explaining why people feel disappointed over Dragon Ball Daima so far, and how it could be better than what it is at this current moment. Dragon Ball Daima is a show in which brings back the love and care Dragon Ball has given us, feeling like the original Dragon Ball series and having great moments that made the original Dragon Ball so special. But many fans have called this show disappointing. Why is that? The show is genuinely fun to watch at times, and it has great animation, some that Dragon Ball Super wish they had. After all, Daima has had some beautiful sequences recently, yet it feels underwhelming. Why? Before I begin, I would appreciate if you guys like and subscribe for more anime, manga, and general fictional content. I appreciate all your recent support that you guys have been giving me with these latest uploads, and I will be talking about more series in the future. And I really do appreciate your support. Maybe I heard Core Kenshin made a manga. I might be reading that and reviewing on it and talking about it in the future. That could be a possibility, or I could just be talking about other series that I watched in my past. Whichever way, I hope y'all enjoy my content, and we'll be trying to upload every 2 days. Recently, I've been trying to learn a lot of new things about YouTube to evolve my content, so that's why I haven't uploaded in a little while. Anyways, I hope you enjoy. Dragon Ball Daima, the recent version of Dragon Ball that takes place in between Z and Super, and could bring more plot points into Super. It has nice charm with its character moments, and interaction between the series has been fun to watch. The expansion over Dragon Ball was insane to watch as well, seeing all the multiverses before Zeno destroyed him and all the Dragon Ball macrocosm was something nice to see early on in the series. It was a nice expansion in which we saw the universes before Zeno destroyed him. It genuinely intrigued me and made me wonder how much more we're going to learn about the Dragon Ball microcosm as well. Daima has also added a lot of characterization to some of our favorite characters, and even added clarifications for characters like Piccolo, and how he was a demon in early Dragon Ball because demons have pointy ears. People believe that Piccolo was more of a slug thing, or theorized that he was a slug thing because he doesn't match with anything of a demon and wasn't referred to as a demon throughout all of Dragon Ball Z. Not only this, but he looked different from Deborah entirely, so people assumed he wasn't one at all. So seeing this clarification adds to the original thought that Piccolo was a demon, and it adds to his character, which makes people have some interesting theories on specifically the Great Ape recently, as the Saiyans have round ears, which means they are not demons, but when they turn into Great Apes, they do have pointy ears. So people have been speculating if they made a deal to have this great power, but they turn half demon or something. I don't know. I haven't even speculated that far. We haven't even found much of that information, but if it does come true, that would be pretty cool to see, and it would explain a lot about Beast Gohan. I could go in depth about that and how Beast Gohan could get a huge relevancy of writing via Dragon Ball Daima, but for now, I'm gonna keep it as it is and only go over the information we know of at this point. I won't go on any long tangent about all these clarifications, but for now I do find them very interesting and could be for later videos in the future, so I hope you guys continue to watch my content and support me. Dragon Ball Daima is a series in which is purposely slowed to add to the characterization to these characters and adding deeper writing between the shows. And while it did give me that, in the back of my head, I still feel like there's something wrong. Seeing how others have this feeling about the show as well, but they have yet to explain it correctly to me, which is why it intrigued me. Why did everybody feel like there was something wrong with this show? The word disappointing has been one that people have been relating to the show, but why? What is disappointing about a show relating to deeper concepts, learning about the Dragon Ball macrocosm, continuing to learn newer things about it? There's something missing, something that could expand the show and make it greater than it would be if added. At first I didn't realize the problem, but the longer I watched, I began to realize Dabura was the Demon King. Didn't he just lose to Gohan, the arc prior? That's it, those words. Why do they matter so much? Why does Dabura losing to Gohan matter so much? Specifically, he did die to Majin Buu, but either way, him and Gohan that hasn't trained, Gohan had won the fight. So why does this matter so much? There is no sense of threat. In every series of Dragon Ball, there were threats with each series or arc within the series, from the original Dragon Ball to later on throughout the series. The first instance we see of a major threat in Dragon Ball was Oolong. Yeah, I know, not impressive at first, but when we first see him, we see that he takes women from a town and either way, he terrified the people of the town because of his ability to change himself into robots and beasts, and nobody could do anything about it. Of course, he was defeated by Goku, but the sense of threat was still there. Throughout early Dragon Ball, there was a sense of threat from beginning from Oolong to Tien, but something more was added later. It happens later on throughout the series, and it evolved the series as a whole. Demon King Piccolo, or Piccolo Daima, was the sense of threat that we've been looking for throughout early Dragon Ball. He added a sense of dread. It started with the death of Krillin from Tambourine. This gave us a new Goku. We've seen him happy, we've seen him sad, but we never seen him pissed off and wanted to kill someone till now. Even with this all, he lost to Demon King Piccolo round 1 and needed some training to finally defeat the king. This is the sense of threat in the original Dragon Ball series. Throughout Z, the sense of threat was throughout the whole series as well. It started with Raditz, Goku's brother, which was a complete surprise at the time because we believed Goku was human at the time, but it did explain a lot. Anyways, Raditz shows how threatening he was by being able to defeat Goku and even the son of the great Piccolo without much difficulty. The two needed not only to work together, but Goku needed to sacrifice himself and able to defeat Raditz. Then there were more threats. Vegeta, someone who was able to defeat a Raditz level threat with 2 fingers. Frieza, who was able to defeat Vegeta with a finger. Cell, who could just cut through Frieza without any difficulty. And Boo, who would humiliate Cell while laughing and not trying at all. This shows us the sense of threat with every arc and shows us that Goku and the others needed to grow to protect the Earth. GT and Super did this as well. It's a constant state of storytelling in Dragon Ball, with every arc having the main antagonist stronger than the last, and shows a sense of threat with them as well. It's the main portrayal showed in Dragon Ball. Why did I go over all these examples of a sense of threat in Dragon Ball? Well, because Daima doesn't have someone who really worries anyone. This was shown early by King Goma, because not only was he scared for the threat of Majin Buu, but he was scared of Goku and the others so much, in fact, that he made them young again. Some of y'all may say, hey, this makes them a looming threat because they're weaker. The main problem with this train of thought is seeing how this same Goku has been absolutely destroying everyone. Yes, making Goku younger failed again. Not only that, but making them young again is like what they did in GT. Something fans didn't like at all. It was a terrible idea and fans didn't enjoy it at all. And while I do understand this is a project that Akira wanted to make, it still doesn't excuse that it is something that is universally hated by fans. Especially when there are multiple ways you can weaken these characters, like wishing them to be weaker, you know, something that like Fighters did. Yes, I know Fighters storytelling wasn't great at all, but it would have been better than making them small again. But like I was saying, Daima Goku is beating everyone while being small. He just recently used Super Saiyan 2 to defeat the newest opponent, and even though he was using Super Saiyan 2, it wasn't close because he just used Kamehameha to win the fight. The sense of threat they wanted to give us by making Goku small was useless and ruined what they were planning to do. Keep in mind, it's still argued if he used Super Saiyan 2 or not. Obviously he did because his hair is different, but the fact that people still argue that he might have just been Super Saiyan is a little ridiculous. Well, how do they fix it? Well, I like to see Goku and Vegeta become adults again, and making Dr. Arinsu, I don't know how to say her name yet, I'm still, trying to keep up and make sure I get it right, make a threat that makes Goku and Vegeta worry about the danger. Of course, this could happen later on, but because there hasn't been anything to worry about, it does make things disappointing. I think Daima could have been better as well. I would have been so down to watch a Goten and Trunks show where they go down to the Demon Realm and defeat the king just like Goku is supposed to do. I've talked to multiple fans who agreed with me on this statement. It could have been a Goten and Trunks show, but because Goku and Vegeta are so popular and they gain so much money, they had to put Goku and Vegeta. There are a lot of things that intrigue me with Daima, but because there's no sense of threat, it makes Daima a bit disappointing. I will continue to watch more because I genuinely think there can be great things that happen throughout the series. But I'd love for them to actually give us a threat, one that will make the characters grow again and again like every series. And this is why Daima feels disappointing. This doesn't mean the show is bad, of course, but I want something better as well. I believe this show can get better. And while it's not bad, it's not really, it could be worse, I still think it's disappointing to what fans wanted, especially when they've been begging for Dragon Ball Super Season 2. I understand that Super's writing isn't fantastic, and I do agree there's a lot of problems with Super, and I could go over them all. I think Goku Black is the biggest perpetrator of it, and I might make a video on his bad writing in the future. But in the manga, we've had some hype arcs and hype transformation that people have been begging for. And there is a sense of threat with every arc in the Super manga, which is why people wanted a Super Season 2, and why they feel disappointed over Daima. I am not going to argue that it's bad, because that's just a bad faith argument. I think Daima has a lot of good in it, a lot of great things they expand on a lot of storytelling, and it making it slow, which is a nice surprise for them to expand the realm. But it still feels disappointing because there is nobody that can threaten the characters.